Hi, I'm Jess.
And I'm Kassidy.
And we're two 21-year-olds from Canada.
And it's our turn to tell you our side of the story.
We're going to give you some tips and tricks on all things to do with concerts and tours.
And show you what it's really like to be a fangirl.
Stay tuned and we'll show you the ins and the outs of this lifestyle.
And tell you some interesting stories along the way.
Because it's finally
our turn.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Our Turn, the podcast. We're here.
Wow, we're back.
Here. It's episode 2, and we have an interesting episode for you today.
It's all about
nightmares.
Like
about
traveling nightmares.
Yeah, definitely some interesting stories we have, and these are actually all based from Why Don't We shows. We've had some interesting encounters, and nothing to do with the actual shows itself, just with the transportation, traveling to or from the cities.
Yeah, sometimes traveling can make it difficult and a little bit more stressful.
Especially when you have to be somewhere at a certain time for like such a VIP check-in or for the actual show to start.
Yeah.
It kind of makes things a little bit sensitive with time. Especially when you have like show after show after show, which is where all of our issues came into place. Now this was for the summer tour for the 8 Letters tour for Why Don't We? When all of these happened, we'll mention New York at the very end.
Yeah.
And every single time we tried to travel somewhere to go to a city or to leave the city for a show, there was some sort of complication with the travel.
Yeah, for this trip, we started off, we went to Anaheim and we went to Disneyland first. We made a Disney trip out of the whole thing. So we had to go take a Greyhound. This was the first time we'd used Greyhound.
Mm-hmm. It didn't go so well.
No.
So
we didn't know where we were going, number one.
Yeah, so
it was a huge place.
To start off, we had to go from Anaheim to San Diego for the show that day, and we booked the earliest possible Greyhound. So we had the Costa Mesa show the night before, which is like 30 minutes outside of Anaheim, so we just hopped in an Uber and went. Yeah. But the issues came into play when we went to our second show the next night in San Diego, and we were arriving at the Anaheim Greyhound station, which was not where we thought it was. It was not at all like we thought it was going to be. It was so confusing. We had no idea where we were going.
It wasn't just Greyhound that left out of there. It was so many different kinds of buses and stuff
trains.
like that.
There was trains that left from there too.
It was a big station and we had never been there.
No, and we definitely probably should have arrived a little bit sooner, but it said
something had happened.
I think did our alarm go off late or something?
Maybe.
Or some sort of complication in the morning leaving the hotel room.
Sometimes our friend takes a little bit of time getting ready.
But that's okay. It happened. But
we were late.
We didn't even do our makeup though, that's the thing. So all we were doing was getting up, getting dressed, brushing our teeth, and leaving the hotel room. So it didn't take us that long to get out of the room.
No.
We had been up super late the night before. Like we said, we were at the show in Costa Mesa.
And we stayed outside of the venue for...
Yeah, we were talking to our friend and her mom too after.
Yeah.
And so it was quite a while. Plus, we had the Eben VIP after, so it just extended everything even later than normal. So we woke up, we went to the station, we were literally running around there in the elevator, going upstairs, no idea where we were going.
We had gone everywhere in so many different places, but we were gonna ask someone to just, like, tell us where to go.
There was no one.
But the line to go to, like, even the ticketing booth was huge. And our Greyhound was supposed to be leaving in, like, 5 minutes.
Yeah, like, it was supposed to be, like, arriving. We were supposed to be getting our bags on now. And we already had our tickets purchased ahead of time, so we assumed we just, like, went up to the bus, showed them our tickets, and got on. So we finally found where we were supposed to go, and we asked another person that was getting on the bus, and apparently we had to get baggage tags for our bus.
Yeah.
So me and Taylor, it was me and Taylor, right?
Yeah, I think I waited for the bus.
Me and our other friend Taylor ran inside.
Took all of our bags.
Yeah, took our big suitcases inside, which we didn't need to do in the first place.
No, we could have just gotten tags.
They gave us tags, and we had to run back outside, but the line was long. We didn't know where we were going. We went to the wrong line at first.
Yeah.
Finally got it all sorted out and wait outside for the bus. And so we get our tags all tagged up. We're outside by the bus, and a bus pulls up. And so we assume it was for us, but it wasn't our bus. And so we're like, okay, no, but, like, this is the right bus stop. Like, where's our bus? Like, it was supposed to be here, like, now. Like, we're supposed to be leaving in 5 minutes, and we have to load all our stuff up first. So
we asked the bus driver of that bus, and, like, he didn't even know where our bus was.
Yeah, he's like, this is the right stop, but, like, I don't know where your bus is. It's gonna be coming. We're like, okay, yeah, sure, like, whatever. It's probably a couple minutes late. Not a big deal. So we're waiting there more. We ended up waiting there for, 2 hours almost, it seemed like?
Yeah.
An hour and a half. And another bus came about an hour later, because I was tracking it on my phone. Didn't work very well, and it was a little bit sketchy, but it looked like it hadn't arrived there yet. So I'm like, okay, you know what? It might just be late. And we actually did go inside and ask someone, right? And
yeah, because we thought the bus had come and gone and come early, and it left us there, and we were screwed because we had the San Diego show that night. We had to get there.
That we had to check in for, and we still had to do our makeup, get changed, everything.
Yeah.
We were in sweatpants and we did our
We
hair
couldn't
the
even
night
check into
before.
our... Yeah, it was
It was gonna be just like a frantic, like, quickly do your makeup, get changed, and we're gonna book it to the venue. And, well, that's what ended up happening.
Eventually it came after, like...
2 hours.
2 hours of waiting, thinking that we got left behind.
But we did actually ask the bus driver that came on the bus about an hour later, maybe a little bit less, like 45 minutes, for a different bus. And he's like, you guys are at the right spot. I tracked your bus for you. It is coming. It's just not here yet.
Yeah.
And then he looks at it and he's like, oh, maybe it already left. He's like, oh, no, it's fine. And so we had that little bit of a panic for a second.
And even him changing his mind, oh, no, it's fine. It was like,
Are you
what if he's
sure?
actually not sure? Like, what if it is actually come and gone? And
yeah, and we're just waiting here. So we had Lyft and Uber up on our phones, seeing if we could just hop on a Lyft or Uber, but that was going to be a lot of money. It was going to be like, I think,
we don't
$200.
have that much money.
No.
So, but then even when we eventually we got on the Greyhound, and then we got there, and our hotel wouldn't let us check in.
Yeah.
I had called earlier in the day, been like, are we able to check in early? We have somewhere to get to. And they were, oh, yeah, that's totally fine. Everything's good. I went to go check in. No, and I was like, okay, but I talked to somebody on the phone, and they said we could check in, but apparently they never said that.
And they also said that if our room wasn't ready, they would let us use the bathroom to get ready in.
Yeah.
And when we show up there, they wouldn't even let us use the bathroom. They're like, only for people that are currently checked in.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let us go to the pool and use that bathroom at the pool. And it was like, we have places to be. We have no makeup on.
I had called for a reason, because that was going to be our problem. But
and they said it would be fine, and then it definitely wasn't fine. So we ran across the street to a wing store, a wing restaurant.
Yeah, we had to buy a Gatorade or something
I bought
in order to go
Gatorade.
use the bathroom and change in.
And there was no mirror in the bathroom, so we got changed in the bathroom.
This creepy guy was talking to me and Taylor the whole time in there, offered to let us use his house to get ready, and we're like, thanks for the offer, but like, we're going to pass.
So, yeah, we
had to get ready outside of the pool, like, sitting on the gate,
sat on the floor,
outside.
We opened our
Windy.
suitcases, and I did my makeup on the concrete, like on the sidewalk outside of the parking lot.
I planned to curl my hair. Didn't work.
No, didn't have time for
Didn't
that.
have electricity.
No, couldn't fix our hair, couldn't do anything. We just did our makeup in the parking lot and went. And surprisingly, it turned out decent considering all circumstances. It was okay, but still, that was like oh my god, what's gonna happen? And luckily, like, we had VIP. Taylor didn't, and Taylor was the one that... No, Taylor did have VIP for that one.
Yeah, that was the
so
one
we
show
all
Taylor
did.
had VIP
Never mind. So it was her one VIP for the summer tour, and she did her makeup in a parking lot. So that was an interesting experience.
And it was super windy in the parking lot, too. And
my
it was...
makeup brushes are blowing away.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a mess.
Had to put deodorant on, had to get body spray. We had to put sunscreen on, because we had already gotten really badly burnt the show before.
And I got heat stroke, we discovered,
because it was like
day.
We were in Disney, and then Costa Mesa was an outside show, so we had been in so much sun, so we were like covering ourselves with sunscreen, but it's windy, so the sunscreen's going in everyone's mouths and all that kind of stuff.
But that is definitely a tip we're going to talk about in a future episode, because
how to deal with outside shows.
Outside shows are a whole nother situation.
They really are.
It's an event, but yeah, that wasn't even the worst experience of the tour.
We
gets worse.
We got more. Each time we tried to travel somewhere, it was the next morning after San Diego. We had gotten back from San Diego late because we had Eben VIP again.
And we met friends that we were talking to outside the venue.
We were talking to them, and we were just like talking to everybody, having a great time.
We debated also staying outside the venue because the boys were still inside, and we knew that. And we're like, oh, like, should we wait and see? Because, like, we had seen Jack and Corbin
and Daniel.
But he didn't stop to say hi, so we're like, we want to see Jonah.
Yeah.
And we want to see
Zach.
And also see Daniel again, because, like, he never stopped to take pictures. So, like, we want those cute pictures for the gram. Like, we're looking not very cute, but, like, we still want them.
But
we ended up leaving. We didn't stay, but...
We stayed, like, till, like, midnight, maybe?
Yeah, because VIP got out, and we maybe stayed for an hour, and then we left. If we would have stayed an extra, like, half an hour, we would have seen them all. So, a little bit
salty
about that, but it's fine. The next morning was a mess. So
we went back to the hotel, and I think we got pizza or something. We hadn't eaten out in forever, because... Venue food?
Oh.
Expensive? Not good.
Also, we ate Denny's, and it took forever when we first got to San Diego, because we thought we had time
to eat.
And we had to change, and we had to do our makeup, and so we're like, well, what if we do it in Denny's? Denny's was a disaster. It took us, like, double the time it normally takes to go to Denny's. Normally it's like, okay, in and out of there in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It took us an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, it was a mess. It was a graduation day for a middle school, so every person was there, and it was... not the best, but that just added on to all of the other stress and drama we had. But yeah, so the next morning we woke up to go to Vegas.
Well, because we'd set our alarms for, I think we'd set them for 4 o'clock because we were supposed to leave at 5. I had to shower still. I think I was the only one that still had to shower.
I showered the night before.
But we didn't pack up any of our stuff because we're dumb.
I did, actually.
I don't think me and Taylor did.
No, you guys didn't. I was like, I'm going to pack up my stuff because I showered, whatever, all I need.
Oh, so it doesn't take me long to get ready in the morning. It takes them way longer than it does me. So I'm like, well, you guys are getting ready. I can just pack my stuff.
I was going to do my hair in the morning, and that was going to be it. Everything else would be all good to go. Do makeup on the plane, get changed later. It was perfect. We wake up, and
5 o'clock.
It was time to leave. We had 5 minutes till we were supposed to be in our Uber leaving the hotel, and I've never seen us get out of a bed so fast.
I still showered.
Yeah, she showered. We all got changed into. I don't know. You know what? I didn't even change. I slept. I went to the airport with what I was wearing.
I changed because mine was. I had a shower and it was shorts and a dress.
I was wearing like Nike Pros and like one of my merch shirts that I bought. So I literally threw on a bra, threw on some shoes and a hoodie, and walked out the door.
The next part of the story. It's really my favorite part of the story.
But wait, there's one more part I want to add on to the whole San Diego thing. We did end up making our flight. We didn't have time to do our makeup in the airport like we planned, or our hair, so we had to do it once we got to Vegas.
I did my hair in the airport in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and I did my makeup on the plane. But
I fell asleep.
As we were leaving to go to Vegas, like to go in the Uber to go to the airport to go to Vegas, I was going to a garbage can because we still had the pizza that we were throwing out.
I was talking about my favorite
I had
part
my
of the story.
decently new white slip-on Vans that I had planned to wear for that outfit because I was going to wear my Converse for the other shows and my Vans for the Vegas show because that was just always the plan, to match with my outfit better. So I'm walking to the garbage can through the grass, and all of a sudden my foot sinks into the grass and my entire foot is engulfed in a mess of mud. And I kid you not, my white shoe turned gray and
brown, and then we kind of tried to wash it off with water, and then it was still
we have a video because she took a Snapchat as we were there, and all I'm saying is I don't know what to do, and hysterically laughing because we were so exhausted,
tired,
stressed out.
We were stressed, but it was so funny.
It was so funny. Like, it was just another thing on top of it. Like, our Greyhound yesterday, our plane today.
Yeah,
what else
we were like, there's nothing else could go wrong. Like, it's fine.
We were definitely wrong.
The worst has yet to come.
So, we get to Vegas, we get ready in the airport, have a great show. Well, I mean, before the show, I definitely got a bit of heat stroke.
Yeah, so we were all pretty...
We were burnt, exhausted. Yeah. I felt like I was going to throw up. So I was literally, I ordered food and I couldn't eat any of it because I felt so sick. Yeah. And I'm like, this is not the way I want to end tour. Like, the last show for God knows how long. And even now, it's like, that's been over a year now and I haven't seen them since. And I felt sick going into the last show, which sucked. I did feel better later on in the day, but...
because it got a little bit cooler because we were inside the venue, whereas we had been outside a lot in the morning. And we had Denny's that morning, too, and that one went way faster.
We like to go to Denny's a lot, apparently.
Yeah. Denny's is, it's a decently cheap, easy breakfast place.
And it's when you're exhausted and there's nothing else to do. Yeah. So, but anyways, this is not about Denny's. This is about the last time. So we had our show in Vegas. Her shoe broke.
My shoe did break.
Literally, we're still in the venue, leaving to go back to our room.
Snapped off.
Just broken half. We're like, well, great way to end the tour again. Yeah. What else could go wrong? At least the tour's over now. Like, nothing else could happen. We were wrong. So, I want to mention this. My parents did not know I was in Las Vegas. They did not know I was seeing the Las Vegas show or the Costa Mesa show. The only one they knew about was San Diego. So, I didn't tell them what I was doing. Like, I'm 21. Like, it's fine. They don't need to know.
Did they eventually find out we were in Vegas?
They did find out. Because the next morning, we were waiting in the hotel lobby for our Greyhound, and I get a text from my parents saying, what state are you in right now?
Like, why? Is that a question that was just randomly asked?
I lost my mind. I was freaking out, and of course, the perfect time this happens is the time that Jonah walks by. Jonah Murray, the artist I went all the way to the United States to see, walks... You know what? It's fine. All the way to Las Vegas to see, and I'm having a mental breakdown on the hotel lobby floor because I got that text from my mom. And I've never panicked so much in my entire life. I was, freaking out. I remember, looking at my phone, shaking because I didn't know what was going to happen. And like, I'm not scared of my mom really, but, like, the fact that she texted me, what state are you in, so abruptly, like, we hadn't talked
It made
all
you
day.
think that they...
I was like, oh my god, they're supposed to be in Boston right now. Are they here? Like, do they see me?
Yeah.
Did they track me? Did my tracking turn back on? Like,
Yeah.
I panicked, but...
You make it sound like your parents have a tracker in your phone.
I mean, they have Find My Friends.
Find My Friends. They don't have a tracker in her phone.
No, but it was just a panic, which was like, whatever, it's fine. I told them I was in Vegas because I was visiting a friend, which is true. I was visiting a friend named Chelsea. We're both friends with her.
Yeah.
And love and miss her, but it was all okay. They never asked any questions. It's fine. I think the reason why they didn't ask questions is because of the event that happened next.
What happened next was something we really didn't see coming.
No. And, like, we probably should have with everything that
happened, but it didn't even cross our mind that something bad was going to go wrong.
No.
We got up. Everything was fine. We were in the hotel lobby.
We got that
We
text.
left on time. It was fine. Like,
yeah, like, the worst of that day was the text from my mom.
We thought the worst from that day was the text from her mom. So, we were getting on a Greyhound again. Keep in mind now, we're already not very comfortable with Greyhound because of Anaheim.
It came late, so we were kind of worried. We're like, whatever, it's going to be
This one wasn't as bad because, I mean, the next day we were going to Disneyland, but it wasn't like you got to be there by this time.
Yeah, like, I think we were supposed to get into Anaheim around 9 p.m.
Yeah.
We were going to be there in time to go for dinner at Downtown Disney, and it was going to be great. Like,
we
there was
watched
no
the fireworks from our hotel because you could see the fireworks from our hotel. Yeah. It was going to be great. And in the bus, we kept talking about how we wanted to go to the Paso Robles show. Yes. I mean, we were never going to actually do it, but we really wanted to, and we were, like, so sure that we could find a way to do it.
Yeah, so we were, because we went to the 3 shows, and we're like, you know what, we need one more show to end off with a bang. I feel like Vegas just wasn't what it was supposed to be.
You couldn't hear us.
There was something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, I feel like the show was very quiet, the venue was very large, and so
it was like large and not as filled out as it should.
It was spacious.
Yes.
Very much spacious. It was very,
I mean, it was still an amazing show.
Oh, for sure.
But it was
just
we needed more.
Exactly. So we really wanted to go to the Paso show. So we were looking up in the Greyhound
we had a friend that was going too.
Exactly. So we wanted to go see her, and we just thought it would be really great. So we end up getting on this Greyhound. It's going okay. The air conditioning isn't working, so it's very hot.
And they almost had to stop and turn back around. Somebody had said it got too muggy.
Yeah. And they're like, if you say something, then I have to turn around. And we're all like, no, it's fine. Like we're going to be okay.
We need to get to Anaheim.
Exactly. So we get off at our first rest stop at the World's Largest Thermometer, go inside.
Go to the bathroom, get snacks. They make sure everybody's back on the bus.
Yeah. So it's
all fine.
Perfect.
We're good. Get back on the bus. This is where everything goes wrong.
First off, an old lady came to sit next to me, even though she was sitting next to, like, her daughter or something.
Yeah.
She wanted to sit next to me. So I was like, well, I don't want you to sit in my seat, whatever. Like, this is annoying. I was kind of sitting sideways talking to my friends next to me, but whatever. I'll stand up in this moving bus barreling down the highway so you can move seats, not sit next to your daughter. Whatever. So I get up. She sits next to me, kind of annoyed, whatever. We're sitting there. This is also very important because this is the reason I brought my bag with me, because she was next to me. We stopped at Barstow, California, which was our last rest stop before getting to Anaheim. Well, last one that we were getting out of.
Yeah. Me and Taylor left our bags in there. We only brought our purses that way we could buy food because we were stopping. It was at like a meal break, so we could get food.
So we had till, I don't even remember what time it is. I had it all written down. We had like 30 minutes or 40 minutes.
We went and sat inside McDonald's, tried to plan Paso Robles.
I brought my bag because, like I said, the old lady was sitting next to me, so I didn't want to leave my stuff
And we also wanted her computer to try and look at Paso Robles.
Exactly. So I had everything I possibly owned.
Except for the suitcase.
Well, except for my
suitcase, her backpack she had.
So I had like all my like personal like identification, my passport, my money, everything like that. I didn't have a lot of money left because it was the end of the trip, but like the cash I did have, I had with me. Everything was good, except I didn't have a phone charger because my phone charger had broken and I left it in Vegas because why am I carrying around a broken cord? So we're sitting there, we're eating our food, we're like, okay, the bus is going to leave in about 10 minutes, let's head back outside. So we head back outside to the bus, but
and it's not there. No. It left early.
It left us in Barstow, California, and we had no idea what to do. This was the first time anything like this has happened to any of us, so we were panicking.
Yeah, we went to go and try and find the Greyhound lady. She was like, well, it's gone. There's nothing I can do to help you. Didn't want to help us.
No, she gave us a card for a taxi, and I'm like, we're not going to buy a taxi. Like, their money, you guys had some of your money.
Yeah, but we left our passports and most of our money on the Greyhound.
Yeah, because, like, why would you bother bringing it? You only need, like, $20 for dinner. Like,
exactly.
That's it. So, we didn't have enough money altogether to afford this. I did have my credit cards that I could have put it on, but I didn't know what the situation was for taxis with, like, Canadian cards, because, like, you never really know. And I didn't have my own card at the time. I was using my mom's card, and so I'm like, I don't know how it's going to work. Like, what if it doesn't work? She's in Boston right now, 3 hours ahead. Like, I can't call her. Like, I texted her, but she's like, I'm going to sleep. I can't talk. So, we ended up talking to the Greyhound lady for a little bit. She ended up being off work. It was closed.
And she just left. Didn't even tell us she was leaving. She just shut down and left.
Mm-hmm. So we were sitting there outside.
None of us had phone chargers because Taylor had one piece of the charger and Jess had the second piece of the charger. Mm-hmm. Neither of them had a full charger. I had a full charger, but we didn't have anywhere to plug it in.
No.
So I'm on the phone with Greyhound. And our friend Taylor was on the phone with Greyhound, but Taylor is just sobbing into the phone.
Yeah.
Like, full on sobbing. Sorry, Taylor.
We love you, but you were...
But she's full on sobbing, and I'm on the phone with customer service on Greyhound trying to talk to them.
Wasn't even customer service, we found out. They were like, we aren't customer service, we can't do anything for you.
But,
excuse me?
No, the one I was talking to was customer service. But I looked at... Jess was trying to figure out something about our bags.
Yes.
But Taylor's sobbing on the phone trying to talk to this guy
about the bags in somewhere else.
It starts with an I.
Was it? I don't even remember where it was. Was it?
I don't remember where it was.
San Bernardino is where it was.
So Taylor's on the phone trying to talk to this guy and she's crying. And I like look at Jess and I'm like, would you take the phone from Taylor? Like, she is such like a mess right now. We're not going to get anywhere with our bags. No. I know she doesn't like talking on the phone that much, but I was like, I need you to get the phone from Taylor because Taylor's not getting us anywhere.
I struggle with talking on the phone, but I was like, you know what? This is not getting us anywhere.
And now I'm on the phone on the other side trying to be like, hey, well, when's like the next bus? And they wanted us to wait outside in the middle of nowhere.
For 9 hours or 10 hours.
For 9 hours until 10 a.m. the next morning.
And we're like, we can't do this.
Me and Jess were 20.
Yeah, Taylor was 22.
And we're like, you're going to leave 3 people in their young 20s sitting outside a random place?
Teenagers.
There was hope. There was homeless people asking for drugs, asking for alcohol. One of them got mad at Jess for throwing out her McFlurry.
Because I had ice cream and I was so fed up. I threw it in the garbage because it was melting. I just couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
And he took it out of the garbage and started screaming at me because I wasted food. And I'm like, I can't deal with this right now. I was fed up. She was panicking on the phone, yelling at them. Taylor's
I'm like, you have to figure something out. Like, you can't just leave us here. And I'm trying to talk to my dad.
She started crying. Like, it was just not good. So I'm like, whatever. So I take the phone from Taylor and I'm like, what is happening right now? What are you going to do for us? And I ended up getting through to this guy. What was his name?
His name was like George or something.
He was
so sweet.
So I'm talking to him because I get transferred to him, and I'm like, so here's the situation. Our bags are on this bus going from, right now, Barstow to San Bernardino to then to Anaheim. Can you get them off the bus for us? Because Anaheim station was closed, so we had to get them off at San Bernardino so we can actually collect them.
Yeah.
And so we ended up saying, yes, he could. Luckily, I had all of the tags for the claims for my stuff in my suitcase, or in my bag, for my suitcase and my other bag I had in there. They, however, had theirs in the bus, in their actual bags.
Yeah.
So we had to send out descriptions of their backpacks, their suitcases, and their purse and stuff, and tell them all the stuff we needed off the bus. So then when it actually pulled up, he pulled them off the bus personally.
And he did pull them all off. And then, because we then had to get to San Bernardino to get our bags.
Which was like an hour away.
So we had to take a lift.
Because, okay, keep in mind, we are poor college students. Taylor is, she's working, lives on her own, a young adult, working,
We don't have that much money.
And we're in college. So there is not the surplus of money that we typically have. This trip was very expensive for us. That was my money.
It broke the bank.
Exactly. We didn't do it necessarily the most cheapest way either because we wanted to stay at nicer hotels. We wanted to make sure we stayed, at the hotel in Vegas, that the venue was there, and get the best flights we possibly could. That was worked out for time and get VIP. So we drained our bank accounts for this trip. We did it in a way that we would have the best possible time and we'd save up when we got back for the next tour, whatever. We're going to live our lives. And so I'm looking at prices for these Greyhounds or for these Lyfts and Ubers, and they're so expensive.
We spent $200 on the Greyhound from Barstow to San Bernardino.
The Lyft, yeah.
Or the Lyft, yeah.
Here's the thing. Cass's phone was now almost dead because she was on the phone with people the whole time. Taylor's phone was already completely dead, and my phone had maybe 20% on it. And not only that is, your phone, you didn't have Uber or Lyft on it, and you couldn't download it because she didn't have like the service for it. So I had to do it on my phone, which, like I said, had like 15%. So I'm frantically looking, trying to find transportation for us to get there. Lyft was the cheapest option. We get in the Lyft because
There was one guy in all of Barstow that was awake to take us.
One Lyft driver, and he's like, I was about to go to bed. And so he's like, if you wouldn't have called, like 5 minutes later, I wouldn't have picked you up. So my phone was pretty much dead, but we ended up getting there. It was all okay. But we did get on the bus in San Bernardino because he's like, you can either wait here to go to the bus to Anaheim the next day.
He was an angel when we got there, too.
He was so sweet.
We got there and he was like, pick a drink, pick a snack. He goes, on us. I'm so sorry. Nobody else at Greyhound even apologized to us once. But he did everything he could in his like in his position. He did everything he could to try and help us.
Yeah.
And the security guard that was there too was also really
sweet.
amazing.
He was helping us out.
So the San Bernardino Greyhound station,
amazing.
A+. If you ever need to go to Greyhound, go to San Bernardino, not Barstow.
I also want to add in this because I know people were like, well, it's probably your fault if you guys are the only ones left. Most of the people that got off the bus were getting off to go smoke. A lot of them didn't get off because they got food at the gas station. And I guess because we were running late, they decided they were leaving early, and they made an announcement, apparently. But the fact of the matter is, the McDonald's, it's attached to the station. It's a part of the bus station.
Yeah.
And it's inside of it. And so the fact of the matter is, you need to make sure the announcement is in the entire station, where you let us sit if you're going to be leaving a bus early, or let us know when we're getting off the bus. Because when we got off, he told us 8:40,
and we were back,
or whatever it was.
Yeah, we were back 10 minutes before the time he told us.
Because I wrote it down on my phone what time we had to be back, and it was on our itinerary as well for the thing, what time we were going to be back.
Yeah.
It was a 40-minute lunch meal, 40-minute lunch break. And so, yeah, most of the people, like I said, got off to smoke and got right back on, or they picked stuff up at the other stop, so they didn't go
Or they
inside.
picked something up and then they
ate it back on the bus.
But we'd been sitting in that bus for so long, and
we just
Wi-Fi
wanted to, on my laptop, so wanted to add that in there before people assume like it was our fault. Like, it actually wasn't. Like, they left early and they didn't make an announcement in the full building, so you gotta tell people.
You can't just, we're gonna leave early.
Because I went for a walk.
Exactly, you don't have to stay in the station. If you're told you're leaving again in 40 minutes, that's when you're leaving, not when the bus driver thinks you should leave.
And it's not like we were there for longer than that. Like, all we did was go to McDonald's, grab our food, go to the bathroom, and leave. Like, literally, we took turns going to the bathroom as we were researching stuff, and that was it. Like,
we were in there for 20 minutes out of our 40, and then it was gone.
Yeah, so there's that. But we finally ended up getting there. I remember in the bus, I think there was a gun. I honestly do, and I didn't tell you guys this at the time. I told Taylor because I was freaking out, but the security guard came in the bus and escorted someone off of the bus.
It wasn't a gun. He was being creepy and touching the lady beside him.
Oh, okay. See, I heard a gun, and some guy got escorted off the bus as soon as we got on, and I was kind of like, this is weird.
We're already stressed out, like freaked out from the whole situation, and then that happened. But
it was just not a good time. But we made it to LA.
We didn't even get to go to Anaheim. We had to go to LA.
And then take
another, I think we took an Uber that time. Took an Uber to the hotel, which was, I think, 60 something.
Yeah, it wasn't too cheap.
No more disasters after that one.
Yeah, we just checked into the hotel, and then besides that, it was all smooth sailing from there.
Actually, no. It wasn't smooth sailing from there.
Wait, what was
we had more issues.
That's right.
Because on our way home,
our flight
got delayed, like majorly delayed.
Like to the point where it was going to be delayed enough that
they would have had to pay for a hotel for us in Seattle.
We wouldn't have made it home. Like our flight.
And I worked the next morning.
Yeah, and we really thought about it because both Taylor and Cass worked. I did not, and we're like, do we just stay the night in California and then go tomorrow? Do we risk it and try and go to Seattle and maybe have to stay there? What do we do? And we ended up going, and I wish we would have stayed, because turns out that exactly, the next day when we would have been there for our flight, that Why Don't We was actually flying out of Vegas, not
California.
Out of California, out of LA.
Yeah.
So, and they had the same airline, which means they had the same gate, like the same terminal. So we would have been at the airport with them.
I worked at 9 a.m. the next day, so I couldn't.
So we didn't end up doing that, obviously, but yeah, we made it on our flight from Seattle. We made it all home in time. I mean, we got in late, but
we ran through the airport to get to our flight for Seattle, but then that one
it got delayed. Is the only reason we made it. But it was a
eventually we got home. It was just we did not have a good time traveling at all. Mm-hmm. Like, it was stressful the entire time.
The only one was the flight to California.
Yeah, that one was okay.
Besides that, everything was some sort of chaos.
Disaster. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm hoping that means that all of the chaos and stress we went through on the summer tour means that we're never going to have to deal with that again.
Well, certain aspects of it.
I know that's not very likely, and I know something is going to happen again.
Yeah.
Delays of flights or late buses and stuff, it's bound to happen. But I'm just hoping that since all the bad luck that we went through this last little bit, that hopefully next time
It'll be a little bit more smooth.
Exactly. Like, the spring tour went pretty smooth. So I'm hoping from here on out,
we
it's
did.
okay.
I had another situation with traveling for a show.
That's right, you did.
I went to New York for the invitation tour for Why Don't We. So once again, Why Don't We shows just like to cause problems for us. But so I went by myself, and in BC for the Compass cards, they had made it so the machines now took credit cards, so you had to tap them.
And our Compass card is basically our bus pass.
And I always had my credit card in the back of my phone. And Jess was like, I would take it out because you're gonna tap your Compass card and you're gonna charge both of them.
Exactly.
So I took it out.
Which happened. A lot of people got charged twice for the buses because they tapped their bus pass plus their credit card, and that would be double the fee. And so, trying to be a nice friend, but it kind of backfired.
But then I forgot that I took it out of my phone, so I didn't bring my credit card with me. And I was using the credit card for every purchase I was making in New York. I brought like $100 cash.
Just enough.
And my brain said, let's use that cash to buy a tour shirt. Not, let's use that cash to buy food. So I didn't bring a credit card. So I ate ice while I was in New York for 5 days because I left my credit card at home.
Yeah, she had no money, and she was by herself. Like, you didn't even really have any friends you were meeting up with.
I didn't have any friends I was meeting up with. I made friends when I was there, but I didn't have any friends I was meeting up with.
So she was by herself in New York with no money.
No.
At least everything was prepaid for, like, hotel-wise.
Yeah, but the problem was, it was under the credit card, and I had to call my mom and have her fax over something for them to check me into the hotel because I didn't have the credit card I booked it with.
I remember getting a phone call from her. She's like, I'm in New York, and I
don't know what to do.
Yeah, like, and she couldn't check in. She was stranded, basically, and she didn't know what to do. So it all worked out in the end. I mean, you didn't eat very well over the week.
But it was still a great trip, and I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
I bring my credit card this
with
time.
money next time.
But, yeah. So we're just hoping that us sharing our horror stories or traveling for shows can kind of give you guys a bit of a heads up so you don't have to go through the same disasters that we did.
Show up early for your buses. Expect them to possibly be late. Show up early for your flights. Set 2 alarms if you can.
Don't have it so that
pedals.
Don't have it so that it's like you're barely giving yourself enough time to get to the next place. Make sure you've given yourself a few hours.
Yeah,
like, don't make it so if it is late, then you're...
Yeah, overestimate how long it's going to take you to get places or to do things, because you never know, and it's better to be early than to be late, because you'd hate to go all that way
and miss
something. Yeah, exactly.
Because they're not going to be like, oh, you were late, let me fix it for you. They're going to, oh, well, you weren't there, you don't get to do it now. Exactly. Unfortunately, right? Because we're 2 people, or 2 or 3 people.
Exactly. They're not going to change everything for the people that were late showing up. So make sure you're not. And I'm hoping nothing like this is ever going to happen again to us or to anybody else, but I know it will, and I know it's just part of the experience. And I mean, it makes for good memories. It sucks, and
she's got stories to tell now, though.
Exactly. But it's an experience, and you live and you learn, and
yeah. Now we know that unless we have to, we don't want to take a Greyhound.
No,
because we paid all that money, and they wouldn't even
refund us anything. It's the worst I've ever had to deal with. So,
and we deal with a lot of customer service.
Yep. So let's just not do that again. But I think that's pretty much it for this episode. I think we've covered all of our disaster stories.
I'm sure there's more, but those are the main ones.
Those are the big ones that stick out. And I'm sure there'll be more in the future, but
100%.
For now, those are, the ones we have.
Horror stories on the road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was an interesting experience, but I mean, I would definitely go through it all again to experience the things that we experienced.
There were so many good things that outweighed the bad things that happened on that trip that it
made it worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if they want to find you on anywhere, social media, where can they find you?
My Instagram is at Kassidy Lesser. My Twitter is at _Kassidy_page.
And my Instagram is at jfolds1195. That's like JFOULDS1195. My Twitter is at _It's Just Taylor. And if you want to find us on our Instagram for the podcast,
it is at Our Turn Official.
Yeah, so you can feel free to DM us on any of our socials or on...
Any suggestions or anything that you have, feedback. We like feedback, but anything that you guys want to hear us talk about.
Exactly. So let us know if you have any things that you want to hear or see us talk about. And yeah,
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.